Hey, what's up, everybody? Doran Aldana here, coming at you with another kick-ass episode of the Art of Mortgage Marketing podcast. And today we're going to cover a very special, timely, and important topic, a topic that I believe every mortgage pro is thinking about right now. In the face of hyper competition, margin compression, everyone and their dog chasing after the same realtors, now more than ever, mortgage professionals are asking the question, how can I get more quality referrals from top producing realtors in spite of the fact that they already have a lender, in spite of the fact that they're quote unquote not interested, in spite of the fact that they're sick and tired of being sick and tired of the incessant stampede of LOs banging down their door trying to leech loans from them? How can we cut through the clutter and bring something truly unique and compelling to the table so that it makes us the welcome guest instead of the annoying pest? Obviously, gaining that kind of unfair advantage in the marketplace, especially in times like these when refis have dried up and it's a bona fide, certified, qualified purchase business, a pure purchase business with rare exception. Having that kind of unfair advantage changes everything. Right? It allows us to win in any market, not just a fair weather market. It allows us to have a locus of control to grow our business in quote unquote ungrowing times. And it becomes our calling card that shifts us from feeling sheepish and lacking confidence, lacking certainty, lacking mojo, feeling fearful of rejection, to being bold, confident, powerful, owning the fact that we've got the cookie. We're in the power position. We've got what they need and what they want. How awesome would that be? Can you imagine that? How that would shift things for you if you had that kind of power, that kind of value proposition? Well, that's exactly what we're about to cover on today's special edition of our Art of Mortgage Marketing podcast. And it's the Unfair Advantage 2.0, the ultimate secret sauce for getting realtors totally addicted to you, to flip the script so they need you more than you need them. So without further ado, let's get to it and do it. All right. Welcome, everybody, to this live Zoom training. This is Doran Aldana coming at you with the one and only Kevin Bilberry for a very special exclusive training for you guys. And what we're going to talk about today is the Unfair Advantage System 2.0. If you guys have been following me for any period of time, I've been around for a while, almost 2 decades. So if you guys have seen any of my stuff in the past, perhaps you saw my previous iteration of that, which is the Unfair Advantage 1.0. Well, if you saw that, you haven't seen nothing yet, friends. You're about to see a whole other level of awesome in what we're about to share with you today. Namely, how to get realtors, even top producing realtors, totally addicted to you. I know that might seem hyperbolic at this point. On the outside looking in, you might be thinking, well, I've already heard that. People always say that, yeah, we'll see. I promise you, friends, by the end of this training, you'll know that to be true. Totally addicted to you when it comes to hard-hitting, tangible, real-world, practical value that pushes the needle on profit and performance in your realtor's business. Not coming to take business, but coming to bring business, to give business, such that the law of reciprocity works in your favor, tips the scales of fortune in your favor. So you become the welcome guest instead of the annoying pest, and they start sending you all their buyers all the time. They make you their exclusive. So again, I can appreciate if it seems hyperbolic at this point, but just kick back, relax, enjoy the ride as we share with you exactly how you're going to be able to accomplish exactly that. And by the end of this training, you'll know that to be true without a shadow of a doubt. That being said, let's get started. I want to give you guys a glimpse into what exactly you can do on a very practical level to unleash powerful technology to start to attract realtors like never before. So this is for you if you're 100% commission residential mortgage pro and you're sick and tired of chasing realtors, begging, groveling, kissing butts, all that nonsense. That's all doing it the hard way. And you're ready to start doing it the smart way. You're ready to start attracting rock solid, top producing realtor partners who make you their exclusive and to bring real value that allows them to feel like you're actually bringing something significant and substantial such that you become irreplaceable and indispensable. So if that's you, you've certainly come to the right place. If not, you can skip this training, move on to something else. So here's what we're going to cover today. A quick snapshot. The fastest, easiest way to attract realtors to you with a compelling hook that makes you the welcome guest versus the annoying pest, and how you can help your realtors generate more buyers and sellers. Yes, buyers and sellers, using cutting edge marketing technology so they can win in any market, not just in a fair weather market. And how to make the shift from being the proverbial loan leech, the mortgage parasite, to being an irreplaceable, indispensable asset on their team, to position yourself as a marketing partner, not just a loan leech. That's a big shift. I'm sure you'd agree. And how to leverage your realtor's listings to generate a steady stream of hot for what you got buyer leads. So those of you who think, well, I can't work with listing agents because they only have listings, they don't have buyers. We're going to open up a whole new world of opportunity for you guys today. It's going to be like you've been in a dark, damp cave, and all of a sudden someone flipped on the lights and turned on the heat. It's going to be a whole new world. And so that's what we got in store for you guys today. So for the uninitiated, my name is Doran Aldana, a mercifully brief introduction. I'm the CEO and president of mortgagemarketingcoach.com. Been coaching mortgage pros to success since 2005. Certainly not my first rodeo. Apparently, I'm a sucker for punishment. I'm still here, still serving you guys, still iterating, still innovating. We've been a contributing expert for Mortgage Journal, CMP Magazine, MPA Magazine, and many other niche-specific mortgage publications. We won the prestigious Best Industry Service Provider Award 3 years in a row. And I think one of the reasons why we won that 3 times in a row is because we have dozens and dozens and dozens of real-world dud to stud and zero to hero success stories and testimonials. And by the end of this training, you'll understand why. So here's our promise to you, friends. You're going to leave this training knowing exactly how to wow your realtor's socks off like never before, not based on your perspective, but more importantly, based on your realtor's perspective, such that they're salivating and eager and motivated to want to work with you. And again, if that seems hyperbolic, I 100% appreciate that sentiment. If I was in your shoes, I'd feel the same way. But just know that what we're going to share with you today is going to shift that for you in a big way. And frankly, that's why you're here, because you're sick and tired of the fluff, the hype, the BS, and you want something that actually works. That's why you're here. I'm sure you would agree. So let me connect with where you're at, because I believe one of the timeless leadership principles that is steadfast and true for all time is that we need to connect before we direct, before we correct or direct, we need to connect. So I want to connect with where you guys are at. So let me know if this resonates with you, because this is a very common challenge in this business, especially now with rising rates, inflation, hyper competition, everyone and their dog chasing after the same realtors. And there's a stampede of LOs beating down these realtors' doors. And there's a high wall of cynicism, resignation, skepticism. These realtors, in most cases, will not give you the time of day if you don't have a really compelling hook, a really compelling, unique value proposition. And so there are symptoms that come with that. So let me ask you this. Are you sick and tired of chasing apathetic realtors who don't give you the time of day, or give you empty promises that don't deliver, that never materialize? Do you hate kissing ass, groveling, begging, bribing, chasing after these realtors just to have them throw you a bone as the last resort loan officer with crappy deals no one else can close, being the loan resurrection specialist, as I like to call it? Are you cold calling realtors and feel like you're bothering them because you don't have any real compelling, unique value you're bringing to the table? Perhaps cold calling 40 realtors every Monday and just kind of shooting the poop and asking how their weekend went and whether or not they have any buyers who need to get pre-approved from their open houses, and noticing that you feel a bit sheepish because you feel like everyone and their dog is doing the same thing? Do you wish you could fire a few of the drama queen realtors you already have because they're prima donnas, because they're calling you up at 10 o'clock p.m. on a Sunday night, demanding that you pre-approve a client because they're a night owl, or they're babysitting you because they think they can do your job better than you can. And so you have these realtors that you wish you could just fire if you had backup with really good quality partners that you could replace them with, but you don't. And you feel this energy of scarcity, this fear of lack. So you hold on to these drama queens because you feel like you need their business. Are you tired of living in fear, worrying where your next deal might come from because the pipeline has been dwindling and it's up and down like a roller coaster ride from hell, up 1 month, down the next, up 1 quarter, down the next? Do you hate working with realtors because with all the drama and trauma, the juice just is not worth the squeeze? And it feels like a necessary evil instead of a beautiful gift to be able to serve and work in tandem with some cool cats who love and adore you and you love and adore them. Something tells me that's not your experience. Do you wish you could flip the script so realtors need you more than you need them? I can tell you the real problem is not that realtors suck. I kind of like to say jokingly that if you don't like working with realtors, it's kind of like if you don't like sex, you're probably doing it wrong, right? If you don't like working with realtors, you're probably doing it wrong. And the symptoms that I just shared with you that perhaps you could relate to, those are just simply symptoms to a deeper problem. And that is that you don't have a killer unique value proposition. So once we fix that problem, all the other problems go away. So we don't need to get you to work longer or harder. We just need to get you working smarter. That's the big idea. So the hook strategy changes everything. The hook strategy is all about bringing real unique value. You see, most realtors need better marketing, mo better. They need mo better. They need better automation. They need better technology. They need systems for not just capturing leads, but following up with leads. A lot of these realtors don't have systems for following up with their open house leads, or they're not even capturing open house leads properly. They're using old school methods from the dark ages. So a lot of these top producing realtors, believe it or not, have a lot of holes in their marketing. They're hemorrhaging a lot of opportunity. And in many cases, they just don't know where to start because they're not tech savvy. They're people. They're not techie people. And even top producing realtors are always looking for ways to get more pre-approved buyers and motivated sellers. Just because they're a top producer, it doesn't mean they're not looking for better and more effective ways to bring in more business. And even top producing realtors are always looking for ways to get more listings and sell them faster and for top dollar. Listings is where the money is. Anybody who's been in business in the real estate space for more than a day knows that to be true. That's where all the money is. Listings, especially in a seller's market. That being said, instead of offering the proverbial great rates and great service, Me Too offer, where your colleagues, your peers, your competitors are offering great rates, great service, cold calling realtors every Monday and making that the overture of the standard method of the day, we want to flip that script. We want to start to fill those gaps in their marketing, fill those holes, because believe it or not, every realtor has holes in their bucket, and just pouring more water at the top of the bucket without filling up those holes makes no sense. It's like stepping over dollars to pick up dimes. It makes no sense. Let's plug up those holes first. And by virtue of helping them grow their business, you become their hero and they start sending you all their business all the time. That's the hook strategy. So now you can make the shift from being an unwelcome loan leech to becoming a welcome, irreplaceable, indispensable marketing partner. Do you feel the energetic shift in that? Changes everything. So now there's no more selling. There's no more chasing. There's no more persuading. There's no more, hype train, trying to hype them up on stuff. It's just, I've got the cookie. I've got real world solutions. I've got what you need. And either A, you're looking to bring on more buyers and sellers, or you're not. If you are, let's talk. If you're not, next. Some will, some won't. So what next? Someone's waiting. And so instead of selling now you're sifting and sorting to identify the real players. You have the right synergy, the right chemistry to do business with. You feel the difference in that versus chasing. It changes everything, friends. It changes everything. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to the Unfair Advantage System 2.0, the latest and greatest, the new and improved. And as we launch into this, I'd like to introduce to you the one and only Kevin Bilberry. He's the CEO and the product development master, the Yoda behind the scenes, super smart when it comes to technology. He's also the brilliant mind behind MoveTube, which you're about to learn about today. It's mind-blowing. It's industry shifting and industry disrupting. We're about to share with you guys some really cool stuff. Give you a little background. He's got over 13 years of experience as a top producing loan officer. So this is not some guy in Silicon Valley who has no clue about the mortgage space, who's going to cram some so-called tech solution down your throat that doesn't really connect to your world. This is a guy who's been in the trenches with his feet in the street every day, living and breathing and eating and sleeping loans for 13 years. He understands the business. He understands the plight and the challenges that you go through every single day. And what you're about to learn about today is built by loan officers for loan officers, which is really important considering that there are so many nuances to this business that if you don't understand the business, it's not going to work. There's so many components to it that if you don't have a depth of experience, you can't thread the needle on having it actually work properly, because there's so many ways that marketing does not work if it's not catered and customized for the mortgage industry. I'm sure you know that to be true intimately from your own experience, right? So he is the man when it comes to understanding the landscape and the challenges you face. He's got a great saying that I love, that the excitement is in the homes, not the loans. So he's all about, it's like the proverbial sales metaphor that people don't want a 2-inch drill bit. They want a 2-inch hole. People don't want mortgages. They want what mortgages can provide them, which is the cash, if it's an equity takeout, to relieve stress and sleep well every night, if they're equity rich and cash poor. In this particular case, we're talking about giving them the joy and pride of home ownership. So the excitement is in the homes, not in the loans. So he's a property marketing expert, which means he's all about using properties as the bait to attract buyers. That's the ultimate bait. If you want to attract buyer leads like moths to a porch light on a dark summer's night, you need to start to become a property marketing expert. And Kevin is the real deal when it comes to doing exactly that. You're going to find that to be true in short order today. He's also an absolute industry disruptor and pioneer when it comes to the integration of real estate search on popular streaming TV devices like Roku and Apple TV and Amazon Fire. So MoveTube is absolutely changing the landscape, and he is the mastermind behind that incredible technology you guys are about to learn about today that's changing how buyers are searching for homes when it comes to using streaming TV. So without further ado, Kevin, thanks for hanging with us today, brother. Appreciate you for being here.
Yeah, no problem. Still letting people in. All right, very good. Okay, so yeah, we'll just, should I go ahead and, you want me to go ahead and share the screen and
let me just,
the next portion of this?
Yeah, if you can just grab the screen and take control. I can imagine you can do that without me giving up the screen on my end. You can do that just on your end, correct?
Yeah, I think so. Let's have at it. Haven't done it this way before, but I think we can do it.
All right, cool.
Okay, very good. So, well, very good. So we're going to get into, so thanks, Doran, for all the accolades, everything you mentioned. Yeah, just again, I am a former loan officer, originally from Austin, Texas. That's where I produced. I'm now in the Tampa Bay, Florida area. So that's my background. I started doing property marketing pretty much at the beginning of my career because of what Doran just mentioned. It's a saying I used all the time. The excitement's in the homes, not the loans. I mean, let's be honest. Loans are boring. Nobody cares about loans. And we're just, right. It's just a necessary hoop that people have to do. You know, it's a necessary thing that they have to, in most cases, have to obtain to make their dream come true, which is home ownership. So I realized that very early on. Actually, before I started originating, before I was originator, I was in the business for a number of years. I did everything in the mortgage business, from managing a warehouse line to processing loans, doing it all. Basically, I ran a shop before I became an originator. And Doran, what got me motivated to be an originator was I happened to find one of our loan officers' paychecks on my manager's desk. And I'm like, oh my God, I did all the work on those loans. And if I remember correctly, she closed three or four loans that month. And I saw how much she made. And I'm like, I am in the wrong side of this. So
I got to get on the sales side, not just doing the ops.
Got to get on the sales side. I knew the entire back end, but I had to learn the front end. But as you know, to be a successful loan officer, you've got to be a successful marketer. You've got to get out there and being around the business for a while, I were a lot of things I would take in. I would understand, I had one production manager is basically saying, if you just get out of the office, just every day go out there and tell people what you do for a living. I do loans for a living. I make people's dreams come true. If you're out there every day talking to people, you're gonna produce. The LOs that fail are the ones that just kind of sit in the office, wait for the phone to ring, kind of thing. So a lot of those things set in with me. And when I launched my origination career, I started immediately with property marketing. I started with FSBOs. I saw in Texas, in Austin, there was a lot of people selling by owner, and I was observing, like there was one across the street from my house, and cars stopping, taking flyers, calling off the sign. And that's what got me motivated, because every one of those people is a potential loan. So, right. So I developed a FSBO system that eventually evolved into Listing Booster. And then Listing Booster is currently evolving into MoveTube. So you might be confused right now, like what's Listing Booster? Doran was just talking about MoveTube. We're going to get into all that. But Listing Booster is a property marketing platform that does a lot of things for your agents and for the LO. But the coolest thing it does now is it syndicates to our streaming TV platform. And that's become so successful that we're getting ready to launch a new product based on that product on MoveTube. So let's go ahead and just move forward here. So I'm going to play this video, and it's only about a minute and a half long. So we'll play this and.
In a market where inventory is low, this 4-bedroom home will not last long. Or is it already too late? See this listing in its entirety on MoveTube. All right, so that's just a little snapshot of what Listing Booster is all about. Things that everything that's in Listing. Oh, the next screen. There we go. Okay. All right. So
Yeah, so those are just a little snapshot of what Listing Booster does, and I'm just going to get into each and every little thing here. One thing that wasn't shown in that video is what we call our agent concierge service. So if you guys have ever done any kind of property marketing platforms before, whether it's been agent marketing or even list reports, stuff like that, a lot of times people say that LOs tell us that their agents just don't engage the product. LLOs can, in general, not be the best at communicating what's actually going on for them and displaying or just demonstrating to them the value of the platform. And they're not very good at communicating in a lot of cases. And now we do coach our LOs to reach out to your agents. And we're going to get into that more every time they get a new listing into the platform. But we do have a team and that will reach out to your agents on your behalf. We try to hit everybody. So that means when they get a new listing, it goes into a queue and one of our team members will call them up. Hello, Susie at Remax. This is O'Dane with Listing Booster. Congratulations on your new listing. I'm calling you on behalf of your loan officer. We've got scripts there. We let them know your listing is now live on MoveTube, our TV platform, and we ask them, do you need a flyer? Do you need a property brochure? Do you need a listing trailer? Any of those things you need, we'll set you up and get that right out to you. And oh, by the way, if you need anybody that needs to be pre-approved, we would if it's anybody I can send over to your LO's way, let us know. And those are the little conversations we have. We can't promise we we try to hit all the listings possible when they come in. And now we've been doing this for a while now. Most of our team, they have a rapport with a lot of the agents. They know right away, what they're going to want and so forth. So most of them want to know their listing is live on TV. That's a big win for them. And a lot of them want the flyers and the listing trailers. Those are the popular things that Booster offers. So now let's get into MoveTube. Doran talked a little bit about MoveTube. If you're not familiar with MoveTube, this started off as just because it's just how I am. It started off as a pet project. A buddy of mine got me into Roku a number of years back, and of course I'm looking at it. I brought it to the office and in our lab, and I was playing with it, and I'm like, man, this is going to change television. I can see a day where the DirecTVs, the Spectrum cable companies, and all that stuff are going to have an uphill battle with this, or they might just adopt it and put all their content on these things, because this eliminates, if you're familiar with Roku, which you probably are now, Amazon Fire TV, it's all wireless. You don't have the old cable boxes and the satellite dishes on your roof. And I just really felt that this was going to be the next thing. And it happened a lot quicker than I thought it would. But we got the idea. It's like, man, this is interactive TV. Real estate's never really worked on TV in the sense of real estate search. Now, everybody loves real estate shows. A lot of people are into what they call, pardon the expression, real estate porn. They just love looking at homes, whether they're in the market or not. It's just a thing. And all of you probably know somebody that's like that. It might even be you. So we decided to, can we do this? Now, the problem with Roku for us was no one knew how to develop for Roku. It's not Android. It's not iOS. It's not Apple. It's its own language. And long story short, we had to go to school on it. And it took us a long time. And we had to get in there, learn all the different, the code. We had to learn everything about Roku, and then getting a channel vetted and getting it live into the Roku world. They can be pretty strict about what the content they allow in the Roku world. So we did do it. We launched it, a base model of it, got it up there, and immediately we started seeing it was popular. People were, we noticed we were at the top of our channel category. So we asked Roku, why is that? Okay, why are we at the top? What's keeping us up there? And they're like, you're popular. It's a good thing. That means people are installing it, they're finding it. And the other thing is, once they, it's an algorithm. Once they install it, we measure how long they stay in there. Our session times in MoveTube, they're still in this number. They're over an hour. In some cases, is up to an hour and a half is the average session time people are in here. So, and to this day, it's still Now, we thought when we launched this that, okay, some of the bigger players are going to figure this out. They're going to get in here. And they really haven't. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. But some of the feedback we were getting from consumers, and this is what's important, consumers love this thing, is that we get, like, these are real testimonials, just from random emails we've gotten from folks. Once they got used to seeing the big pictures on their TV, they didn't want to go back to using a phone or a PC. That actually happened to me, or in my situation with my wife. We were temporarily in Orlando. We were looking to come over here, the Tampa area, and I was looking at condos, and I was pulling them up on MoveTube as we were still in the beta phases of this. And I was showing them with my wife, like, hey, check this one out. Well, I had an agent over here she had me on an agent MLS Connect feature, and she would send me a list of every day. I would get a list of new listings on the market. Well, MoveTube was working with syndication data, so not every listing was coming over on the MoveTube. I had one that I wanted my wife to see, and I'm like, hey, check this one out. She's like, oh, put it up on MoveTube, and it wasn't there because the agent wasn't syndicating. They didn't. I'm like, it's not there. You have to look at it. She goes, then I don't want to see it. Next. I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean, I can't see that. I'm so used to seeing the big pictures. I don't want to look at that anymore. Get it on the TV somehow. So, and that could be very, very common. So, all right. So so we know consumer adoption's been good. We'll get into that a little more. But I do want to get
real quick before you proceed. We got a question from Lori. She asked, does MoveTube work on an iPad?
The website does.
The website
does. Yeah, we're going to get into all that. iPads now, an app for an iPad would basically be a mobile app, like like Zillow has their mobile app, etc. That is in the plan, but I'll get into a little more of that. But let's continue on down with these stats. Now, actually, I grabbed these stats about probably over a year ago now, so we know these numbers are growing. But at the time of this survey was conducted back in 2021, 57% of U.S. households have either a Roku or an Amazon Fire TV, whether that's a stick, a Fire TV device, or Roku has their own TVs, etc. So that's 57%. Now that is just those two. Now, Doran, I remember you were asking me, is the stats right? Because they also found 70% of U.S. households have a streaming TV device. Well, there's other devices outside of Roku and Amazon. Google TV is growing. That's another device. The Sonys now have Google TV built into them. The new Google Chromecast is becoming popular as well. They're all ran on Android. So these devices are just continuing to grow. And another stat that's not on here, because a client, Nello, sent it to me, something she discovered a month ago, or she saw a report, and I went and looked at it. It's accurate. YouTube just released a report that now around 50% of their viewers are watching YouTube on televisions, not on mobile devices. They're on their TV, which means they're using streaming TV devices. I know that's the case with me. That's probably the case with you. It's the case with my father. My stepdad's down in Texas and rural area, and I was just down there, and I said, hey, do you want me to help you, anything set up on your TV? He's like, nope, got my Roku and my YouTube. I got all my shows right here on YouTube. He's into fishing shows and hunting shows on there, and he's all watching it, and he doesn't even watch cable anymore, even though he still has it. I'm like, why don't you cancel that? Why are you paying for that if you're not even using it? Every once in a while I might look at it, but so these numbers continue to grow. And what's interesting is when we started down this road, like, people didn't even know what Roku was. I remember when we first hey, we're going to put Steam. One of my early partners like, what's Roku? I don't know. Why would you even why are we wasting time on this? And it was just something that, like I said, it started off as a side thing. So, all right, let's move on. So where to find MoveTube on streaming TV? Let's get into that for a second. I did mention that. So the top devices we're on is Roku's our number one device by far. Roku is our most popular platform. We get more installs on Roku than anywhere else. Part of that is because Roku is the most popular device. More people have Roku than any other streaming TV device. The other reason too is Roku is very user friendly. It has a clean interface. You can easily find content and channels and apps on Roku. They make it very easy. If you type in, if you do a general search on Roku for anything, any show or anything real estate related, we're always number one. We always, you just put in real space E, and you're going to see MoveTube as the number one source for real estate channel on the Roku world. Now we're also on Apple TV. We're on Google Android, as I mentioned. Now Google TV and Android TVs are the same. It's the same thing. In some builds they call it Android TV, some they call it Google, and then of course we have Amazon Fire Sticks that we're on. So we are the only streaming TV device, streaming TV real estate search platform on all the major devices. So the only place where we have any competition at all is Apple TV. Zillow's on Apple TV, and so is HomeSnap. And the reason why they're able to be there is because they do have a mobile app, and you can convert a mobile app to work on television. It's not the best experience. Zillow has 2 stars for a reason. A matter of fact, we had to remove ourselves off of Apple TV to do an update. We were basically rebuilding, rebranding MoveTube. At one point, it was called Keyboom, and we had to make an executive decision to take it off of Apple TV. We just didn't think we had a lot of users on Apple TV. Apple TV has the lowest adoption rate in the country. So we didn't think it was a big deal, but we did, and we got hate mail. We were getting people emailing us like, hey, where's my MoveTube? And one guy in particular was just hammering us. And I'm like, hey, bro, I mean, I hate to promote Zillow, man. I said, but at least you're on Apple TV where there's an alternative. You have Zillow. And he replied back, their app sucks. There's no music. It's boring. All the data's not on there. I don't like it. Just let me know when you're back on live. And eventually we got it back on there. So, all right. So that is where we're found. So we kind of got into this whole space without even having a monetization plan. Again, it was a pet project. So with Listing Booster doing well, we're like, okay, how can we tie the two together? So what we did was, so when your agents have listings, we in most cases we auto import those listings into Listing Booster. Okay, so once they go into Listing Booster, we do a lot of things. We're going to get into that. But one thing we decided to do was enhance their listing on MoveTube. If it's not already on MoveTube, we're going to put it there. If it's already on MoveTube by syndication, we're going to brand the agent. We're going to brand the loan officer on that listing, and then we're going to put a movie banner on it, put it at the very top of the searches. And that's how Listing Booster integrates with MoveTube. So all the profile data, everything in Listing Booster gets moved on to MoveTube. And you'll see here, looks something like this. So just to kind of be clear, most of our data is coming from syndication sources, which are powered by ListHub. Now, ListHub is owned by Realtor.com. They also own Opcity. So what they do with the deal we have with them, the data goes on to MoveTube, but it has an Opcity phone number on there. It does not have the agent branding at all, unless that agent becomes connected with us as a client. Then once they're a client of ours, then we can take that Opcity stuff off. We can remove that phone number. We can put their number on there, put their branding with the agent and the loan officer, and that's how that works. We also do what we call a movie. It's a slideshow of the property, an animated slideshow, and they can play that. And agents they do all kinds of things with that thing. Now a consumer can get in there and press that. Like I said, it'll do an animated slideshow. We found what agents started doing with it. This was just kind of a thing that, agents are like, hey, I like to use this on our open houses. So we enhance that. So what agents are doing now with MoveTube is they find the listing that they're actually, they pull up the listing of the open house that they're in, and they will put it on the TVs in there, and they'll just play it. And by the way, as you can see to the right, we have music. We have a soundtrack of like 30 something songs. It's kind of like relaxing. I don't want to call it virtual tour music, but it's just nice, relaxing mood music. We started getting feedback from consumers like, hey, could you switch up the music? I'm in here every day and I'm getting tired of the same music over and over again. So we swung for the fences on that. And anyway, long story short, we hit up all the major players, not thinking anybody would really respond back. iHeart looked at it. We got up the chain in iHeart, and they're like, we love this thing. We would love to integrate our iHeart Radio into this. So now you can get into MoveTube and pick any genre of music you're into. A lot of agents put like smooth jazz on, depending on where you're at. So you can play music while you're in here cruising properties. It also goes to screensaver mode. So once that you put the remote down after about in Roku, it's 10-minute default. It'll go to screensaver mode, and then it'll just start showing you properties all around the market based on your last search. So this is kind of close to where I'm at. This is Bel Air Beach. So if I was searching Bel Air and the surrounding areas, this is an example of a property we just come up as it's playing music. And by the way, I keep this going all day long. I put on my favorite station. I'm originally from Texas, so I put on Texas Red Dirt while I'm working. Texas Red Dirt radio, and I'll just let it play, music from back home, showing me properties wherever I've been searching. We integrate tools like the QR codes in here. Somebody can scan that, pulls up the property on their phone, and then they can message and start communicating with the agent. Because of AI, I'll just quickly say this: we're developing some really, really cool stuff now, with using AI and on the actual property data itself, where the user can start chatting with they think they're chatting with the agent. It starts answering questions on the property, but then it prompts them like, hey, the agent can, I'm the assistant, but the agent can call you right away. So we're working on that aspect to this and integrating that into MoveTube. So the agents get branded, like I mentioned. We call this an agent panel. It looks something like this. We put their information on here like that. And then we don't leave you guys out. Loan officer goes on here as well. So you will be tied to every listing that your agents have in the platform. So that's how you get exposure in MoveTube, is by the listings that you're tied to with the agents you bring into the platform. All right. So this is what we talk about agents. So with agents. So if you're out there hitting up agents, agents, the main thing they get out of this, the first benefit and the first value that they get out of MoveTube is winning the listing. We hear that all the time. When they go on a listing presentation, list with me and you will get your home on TV. I will feature your property on all the streaming TV devices, Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire. It's a unique selling proposition. We've got experiences, a lot of them. One gentleman out in California told me it was literally the difference maker. He said he was on a listing appointment. He kind of thought he had it in the bag, but the seller's like, you know what? Can you tell me what you're going to do that the next guy that's coming in here is not going to do? It's like, I'm still in the decision-making process. I've got some more agents to interview. He noticed he had a Roku TV. And this guy was actually interesting because he said he was brand new to Listing Booster. He goes, man, my LO got me into this. I didn't really know much about Listing Booster, but I remember the whole MoveTube angle. He goes, that's the part that kind of I was most intrigued by it anyway. And he goes, so he's like, well, I'm going to put your listing on MoveTube on your Roku TV. I'm going to put your listing on Roku. And the guy's like, really? How are you going to do that? So he's like, yeah, give me your remote. So he turned the TV on, installed MoveTube, showed him how, and he goes, first of all, my seller was blown away by it. He's like, he wanted to start using it right away. He's like, oh man, I'm gonna have a ball with this. He goes, so you're gonna get, he goes, why hasn't any other agents told me about this? And he's like, yeah, they're just not up with technology like I am. So long story short, he got the listing that day. So when agents start asking us about how much traffic are you getting on there, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't have all the numbers on how much viewership we're getting every day. Roku, we're working on building in some things where we can start getting that data, but Roku gives me, they give us install data. So I can go into the back end of Roku and our developer account. I can see like how many people are installing it. We get on an average of 500 to 1,000 installs a week off of Roku. So, but I don't, as an LO, I wouldn't coach you to go on there and like, oh yeah, you're going to get a ton of leads right off MoveTube. I would tell your agent, you're going to stand out on your listing appointments with this. And because that is something we can guarantee them. Will they get leads off MoveTube? Yes. I had a guy in Kansas just told me they got a buyer right off MoveTube, and it turned out to be a real nice deal for them. But I don't make those guarantees and promises, but what I do guarantee is you will win listings with this thing. That is what we know. And behind every listing is a seller. And guess what, guys, loan officers, you probably have never thought like this before. And it's something we train in Listing Booster and in the new MoveTube studio that's coming out. Every seller, or not every, most sellers are potential loan clients. If they're selling somewhere, they're potential borrowers. If they're selling, they're going somewhere. In a lot of cases, they're moving up. They're going to need a loan somewhere else. And when we teach our LOs to say, hey, congratulations on that listing. Your property's now on MoveTube. Can I help your seller? Where's your seller moving to? Where are they going? That is a potential gold mine just right there. So the first lead you should ever get off a MoveTube and Listing Booster is the seller. So, okay, so that's MoveTube. Now I'm going to get into other aspects of Listing Booster. The next thing is that second is actually one of the newer features we just put out on Listing Boosters. It's now going on over a little over a year now, but it's the second most popular feature of Listing Booster. MoveTube by far is the one. Agents want to be on MoveTube. Once they see it, they're intrigued by it. They want to be on there. But then when they see the listing trailer, it's like, oh, I got to have that on all my listings. So that is the listing trailer now. It was in the video. It's the funny, quirky. It is what, it's like a little movie trailer. It's a short 30 some odd second preview teaser video of the property. It's not meant to be a full on video of the property. Movie trailers aren't, movie trailers are created to tease you about the movie so you get interest and want to see it. So the whole goal with listing trailers is that we get the interest up on the listing by using a dramatic. In this case, we have we actually did change that because inventory is no longer low, but we did change the theme of that one a little bit. It's now like in an up and down market, but also with AI, our next release of listing trailers is going to be really awesome because now with AI, we can actually do things from customized narration to voice actors and stuff that's going to announce the listing. But when these things are created, the agent gets a message like, here's your new listing trailer. It's meant to be shared on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all the social media platforms. We're also embedding it into the property websites as well. Some agents are putting see the little movie trailer on this listing, text this to this. They put that on the sign writer and on their flyers. It just generates interest. People want to see it. And that's the listing trailer. Right now we have 3 different versions. When we get the AI version out, that one's just going to be, I know it's by far, it's going to be the most popular because that one's doing, it's going to actually give a customized narration on the property because the AI is trained on the features of the property. And it's going to know, it's like doing, a nice little interest grabbing presentation, narration of the listing. So we're doing some really cool stuff with that. That's the listing trailers. Now, get into the rest of Listing Booster. We have different things, social media images like this that can be auto-generated in Listing Booster. The List with Me and Get Your Home on TV is real popular with the agents. They like to just generate that thing and share it on social media. It makes them stand out. And then we have other things like now available open house data, open house images that they can post. They can generate right in the platform. We also do flyers. We do one thing we do with our flyers is pretty unique. We do 2-sided flyers. So on the back side, we have local data. So we're into not only selling the home, but also selling the area. Now it's unique. And by the way, I don't want to be asked this today. Someone's going, what's the difference between Listing Booster and List Reports? I hate that question. I just totally do. And it's no knock on List Reports. I don't want to knock them at all. But if we have anything in common, it's we do local data. Now, List Reports gives general data. Like their stuff will say, oh, there's a grocery store within 2 miles. There's a gas station within a half mile. To me, I just didn't find that very helpful as a potential buyer. I want to know, well, what's within, what is it? As we got into really working with local data, we started seeing a lot of the stuff that's tagged as a grocery store is really a convenience store, or it's or it's an off the wall kind of like a Latin grocery store that only has specific things. So we actually have in Listing Booster, you actually get, so like, for example, area data, essential places. When you go to generate a flyer, it's going to give you the closest things. It's going to tell you what they are, but you can actually change those things. So for example, I'm in Florida. The closest grocery store to where I live would be Winn-Dixie. Now, if you live in Florida, if anybody here is in Florida, where do you shop? You shop at Publix. Come on, Winn-Dixie, we go there if we have to, right? I mean, you have to have that little card to get they rip you off unless you have their card. I don't know. It's just, and some of the Winn-Dixies are kind of not very clean. Most of us shop at Publix. I'm originally from Austin, Texas. Same thing with HEB. everybody shops at HEB, but you have Albertsons and some of the others. So I would not be featuring, if I'm in Austin, I'm not going to be featuring, like, I'm going to be putting Albertsons as, I'm going to find the Publix, or excuse me, the HEB, and put it on there. So you can do that with essential places, restaurants, and then outdoor activities. And of course, we have the school data on there. And that goes on the second side of the flyer. The agents love this. They do. And we also do a property, what I call a property brochure, that has that same data on here. And by the way, you can actually create just little what can I word it, like, you can do some really cool stuff with this, with the local data, and build some opportunities. One of my favorite stories to tell is the pizza place. We had an agent at one of our Zoom calls told us that he goes, "Oh man, I walked into a pizza parlor, which is right outside the neighborhood where I was going to be doing an open house that coming weekend. And I went in there and said, hey, can I post a flyer? Can I put my flyer up here announcing my open house to drive traffic?" And he goes, and by the way, I'm also featuring your pizza place. I'm featuring you guys as the go-to pizza place for this property. And he said the owner of that pizza place was so impressed by it. He goes, "Man, that is great." He goes, "Yeah, I'll definitely do that." So not only did he allow him to put up, advertise the open house in the pizza place, he's like, what's the address of the open? He goes, "Where is it and what time?" So he gave him the flyer. The man sent him pizza. He sent him he sent him a bunch of pizza to give out during his open house. And it was just a cool thing. We also have we've had agents talk about this, doing it with coffee shops and so forth. So you really, you can do some really cool stuff in the community with the fact that you can actually market local businesses on your property marketing. Soon we're going to be integrating into MoveTube as well. So I won't get into all that right now, but that's something that we're working on. All right. So I don't get into a lot of talking about lead gen a lot. I mean, our product does lead gen. It does. But I don't focus on lead gen. And I'm going to tell you why. This is a relationship building business, and when you focus on it's leads, and you're promising leads, leads are leads. They're not referrals. You want referrals, and Listing Booster and MoveTube will help you get referrals off of the agent partners that you're going to be partnering with, because if they have listings, they're going to be getting the business, and they're going to be in a position to refer you. But when it does come to leads, the text leads have always kind of historically been the best leads, because it's somebody, especially if they're texting off a sign writer, they're right out in front of the house. They're texting on the writer. You're getting a message, and your agent's getting a message that somebody from this phone number just texted in on this property. Now, I recommend that you give them about 30 seconds to a minute before you call them right back. Sometimes people get a little overzealous, and they'll call as soon as the message comes in. That person hasn't even had a chance to open it up on their phone to start looking at the pictures and see the video. They're already getting a phone call. But these are the better leads. With their new platform, we're actually building in text to QR codes where they can also scan, pull it up, text, and then we're working on a chat bot where they can just start chatting. Start asking questions on the property. Hey, does this have a pool? The AI is going to know. It's like, yeah, this property has a pool. It's got this. Is there? Can I have the agent call you right now to answer more questions, et cetera? We want to prompt them to get the call. So that is our text codes. We are partnered with a sign company. I make zero money from that sign company. Basically, when I put that deal together with them, I'm like, hey, give our people the best price you can on sign writers. A lot of the LOs that work with us, they own the riders, they'll buy them, and they'll distribute them to the agents that they work with, and just tell the agent, look, I'm not giving you this, you're borrowing it. And then they take the time to put it on the property. That's how I rolled. When I was an LO, that's exactly how I rolled. I got so much business off of sellers. I realized that when I started working FSBOs, then I got into agents. This is a perfect opportunity for you to go out and meet the seller. Hey, I'm going to come out. Hey, this is Kevin Bilberry with Vanguard Mortgage. I'm working with your agent. We're putting all this great marketing stuff together. Oh, by the way, we're going to be featuring local restaurants and stuff around your area. And we're setting up a texting platform, and it's a way to get to know the seller. Oh, by the way, what's your favorite Mexican restaurant? What's your favorite Italian place? What would you recommend? Sellers love to give that information. Oh yeah, Mexican, you got to go here. All right, we're going to feature that on your flyer. And by the way, I'm setting up a sign writer. I'm going to come out there and I'd like to meet you. I'm going to show you the example of the marketing we got. And man, that's a perfect way to get into the house, meet the seller, and just start talking to the seller. Pleasure meeting you. Oh, by the way, are you paying cash for your next home? And most of the time they're going to say, no, I'm not. And I'd love to be the person helping you get in your next home. There's a reason why I'm working with your agent. She knows I'm great at what I do. And I'm not only do I want to help you with your marketing, I want to help you on your next loan. That always worked for me. I didn't get them every time, but when you're out there talking to enough sellers, it's going to happen. You're going to get a lot of them, even if they're already working with somebody. And then I would constantly be talking to them, with their marketing. And generally that led to, you know what, I will use it. What can you do for me kind of thing. So it's just the perfect opportunity. So when you're working our platform, MoveTube, Listing Booster, you really have to look at the seller as one of the first opportunities for a loan. They're your first quote unquote lead, so to speak. And by the way, agents don't have an issue with this. I can't think of one agent that told us, yeah, I don't want any LOs. I don't want an LO calling my seller. I don't want that. I've never heard an agent say that. Not to say that some won't, but I've never heard that, especially if they like you and they like working with you. So again, you can order the sign writers off it's abettersign.com. Agents can buy them too. And then the numbers do save. So for example, if you have LBR 700, once that property sells, you just move it on to the next one. And that way you're not rebuying writers. And we also put the codes on the flyers as well. All right, this is our video walkthrough app. I don't want to get into this a lot and really, we're actually rebuilding this, but it is a walkthrough app where you can open up it's on Android and Apple iPhones. It's an app you can install and do a little walkthrough of the property up to 6 minutes, and it stitches the picture, stitches the video together, and it has you can put background music to it, etc. It's still on Android phones. There's still some issues with it. That's why I just don't really overly promote it. We are building it to work directly on MoveTube. Everything's going to MoveTube, where we want to be able to put, if an agent has actually done a true video on this, we want to put that to the top of the searches because consumers have loved. They want to see video, and of course, we're going to be putting this on our MoveTube YouTube channel that we're currently launching. So, all right, that's property websites. You've probably dealt with property websites. I mean, that's not a big deal. A lot of products have property websites, but we do have an opt-in option on our property websites. If you want to, some agents use it, some don't. Like where somebody clicks the property website, it'll show for like 3 seconds, and then bang, it makes the person put in their information and continue to see it. That is an option for the agents to have. Some of our agents post these on social media. The mobile version is what goes out when somebody texts in. So, don't need to get too much into this, right? I mean, the property website has the video embedded into it. It does at the very bottom. It does tell them to take their search to MoveTube to streaming TV. So that is a unique thing of it. We also do virtual tours, the MLS compliant and non-branded and the regular version. Agents still use these. They're animated. They're glorified slideshows is what they are. Honestly, it's just another version of a property website. They really are. It's just another property website. So, all right. I don't get into this. This is kind of something. We have something called a Facebook Marketplace posting tool that's built into Listing Booster. I just don't really tell people to waste a lot of time on this anymore, to be honest. But if you are doing Facebook Marketplace campaigns, our system is real easy to manage that. This used to be pretty good back just a couple years ago, but Facebook now, they want you paying for everything now. Yeah, it's not, you're not going to get a lot of traffic unless you're running a campaign. If you are running a campaign, it's great, but those cost. So, all right. We also have a listing presentation that comes with Listing Booster. So, so agents they can download our PowerPoint, and then they can modify it however they see fit. But I can just tell you this: out of everything I just told you, I would say about a year and a half ago, I started really getting into interviewing our clients. The ones I just see their activity, I know they're doing very well. I'm talking about loan officers and asking them Okay, where's the rubber meeting the road? Listing Booster has a lot of different features in it. What's gaining you the most traction? Almost everybody said MoveTube. It's the TV thing. Got a guy he works the Kansas and Missouri areas. I talk to him a lot because he is a machine. He's out there every day talking to agents. Every weekend he's hitting up open houses. And he told me, he goes, it's MoveTube. It's a TV thing. He goes, they're always intrigued by that. And then the great thing about MoveTube is like, I never get that. Oh, we already have that. Oh, I've already had that. He's like, the only issue I have with Listing Booster he goes, I stopped using the name Listing Booster because a lot of times they think it's list reports. Oh, I've already got that, or I've already had that. Okay, whatever. Next, it's just because the list in the name. So with that said, we are launching, and we'll talk about this here in a minute, a new product based on all that feedback called MoveTube Studio. And we're not sunsetting Listing Booster. We will still have that in place, but we're moving onto another platform, and we're calling it MoveTube Studio. All right, Doran. Did you want me to continue with this, or?
No, brother, that was great. Just to give us eagle eye perspective as to the awesomeness that Listing Booster and MoveTube brings to the table. I hope you guys have gotten a heightened appreciation now for how you can tip the scales of fortune in your favor when it comes to bringing value to the table. Obviously, there are nuances on how to make that overture. We'll talk about how we can help you thread the needle on that momentarily, but it kind of goes without saying, but I'll ask it anyways. Can you guys see how a system like this can help you attract more realtor partners, even top producing realtor partners, with more fun, flow, and finesse than not having a system like this? I'm sure you'd agree. The answer is emphatically hell freaking yes, because without having tools in the toolbox like this, you're kind of shooting blanks. If you're anything like most loan officers, you really don't have much to bring to the table. So that's where you are weak. The Listing Booster and the MoveTube system is unique. So let's get into our special offer for today. We want to reward you guys for showing up. Today is certainly no exception. We have a webinar special exclusively for those of you who attended live today. And Kev, would you mind just quickly narrating this? Because this is something that you decided to pull out as a reward for people showing up today. So maybe you can walk them through how to utilize this coupon code.
Yeah, definitely. So if you go to myunfairadvantagesystem.com, right there, myunfairadvantagesystem.com, and sign up for Listing Booster, use the code DA Success, you'll get $20 off your first month. The product is $197 a month normally, and that's unlimited agents. So we'll answer those questions. You have no limit to agents, but agents are first come, first serve. Agents can't be under more than one. They can't be tied to more than one LO. So it's in a way, it's like a land grab with your local agents. All right. So that is, again, it's DA Success is the coupon code you want to put in. All right. And for the first 10 investors, the first 10 that sign up, we're going to give you a bonus PowerPoint designed to get your realtors salivating. So again, that was the first 10. So
this is something that literally we've taken over a decade to formulate, and we just keep buffing and shining it and keep making it more and more potent as time goes on. So this is the latest and greatest version. So you're going to be able to pop in your contact information, your logo, customize it to your satisfaction. And you use this as a tool after you diagnose the realtor's pain points, the challenges, what keeps them up at night, where their marketing engine's losing steam. And then you show them how to cure what ails them as a VIP partnership program solution with this PowerPoint. So how they solve the problems in their business is becoming a VIP partner. And this PowerPoint is custom branded with your information, as well as pre-populated with all the MoveTube and Listing Booster features and benefits. So it makes it easy breezy, lemon squeezy for you to really enroll your realtors as VIP partners. So that is a $500 value. It's worth at least that and then some. To have a marketing expert go and create something like this would easily cost you $2,000, $3,000. But just to be a little bit more believable when it comes to value. I'm just calling it $500 just to keep it simple. It's easily worth 4x that. We're also, Kevin and I are putting together and hosting an exclusive VIP training for you guys, because it's one thing to have the tool. It's another thing to know how to use it. We want to teach you how to use it properly, specifically how to make the initial overture when it comes to reaching out to these realtors, what to say, how to say it, how to land the appointment, what to do at the appointment, and then how to use that appointment to actually land solid partnerships instead of just meeting friends who never send you any deals after the first meeting, or they ghost you after the first meeting. So there's a lot of needles to thread there. And obviously we don't have time today to cover that. So we're going to do a exclusive VIP training for those of you for the first 10 investors today. That's easily $1,000 value. And this is our zone of genius, our area of expertise. So we're going to absolutely blow you away with high level, high impact, world-class coaching there. And then Kev, you want to cover the third and final bonus of the day?
Yeah, most definitely. This one is very exciting. So we are in the early stages of a MoveTube Studio launch. So if you are one of the first 10 today, you're going to get the MoveTube Studio beta upgrade to your listing booster. So you'll have your listing booster account, but you're also going to get a beta MoveTube Studio account, which means you're going to be the first one to start rolling with this thing and being able to reach out to your agents and get them into MoveTube Studio. You got a little screenshot right here. This is something that's in MoveTube Studio that's awesome. It's got data on agents. So agents that are currently that have listings in MoveTube that are not branded, you'll be able to put in an area, in this case Sarasota, Tampa. I put that in there. You can see how many listings they have, the average price. When you click on it, it'll actually have all their information. You can invite them into the platform. Just a lot of intelligence on local agents in your market, and not only the ones that are unbranded in MoveTube, but also agents that have listings that are not in MoveTube that you can easily pull in the system. You can follow agents, you can see their activity. That's all in MoveTube Studio. So you would actually get the Studio beta upgrade and be one of the first ones in MoveTube Studio.
So that's like a fishing hole, your own private fishing hole to fish for realtors and have an easy yes overture. Again, that's one of the things we're going to cover on the exclusive bonus training with Kev and I. Kev will give you the exact words that work in terms of reaching out to these realtors and exactly what to say and how to say it when it comes to these unbranded realtors in the system in MoveTube, to be able to have a very high success rate when it comes to getting appointments and landing new partners. So, that is certainly priceless. Guys, it's worth every penny and then some just for 1 month. I'm not saying you should only commit to this system for 1 month, but for those of you who are on the fence, it's worth the price of admission, even for 1 month at 180 bones, to be able to get all those bonuses, let alone all the rocket fuel in the rocket that's going to provide to you when it comes to making you irreplaceable and indispensable with top producing realtors. One deal is probably worth at least $3,000 to you. If you're in an average market, you get a top producer on board, they can easily send you one deal a month. That's 36 G's a year. I went to public school. I needed a calculator for that. But as far as I can tell, it doesn't take many of those to change your life in a hurry. You get 10 of those, you're making surgeon money, freedom money. And this is the system that allows you to win in any market, not just a fair weather market. One deal, guys, pays for this literally for well over a year. No brainer of the year. So let's get to it and do it, guys. Strike while the iron is hot to take advantage of those special bonuses. Go to myunfairadvantagesystem.com to get started. We're going to open up for Q&A. So any questions, we're going to open up for Q&A. So the first question came in from Lori. I posed it earlier, Kev. You mentioned, does MoveTube work on an iPad? Would you mind quickly answering that?
Well, we're actually rebuilding the MoveTube.com website, so it is a web portal. I mean, you can pull that up on your iPad, but it's not a mobile app that you would install on an iPad. That we will be doing that, but what sets us apart is the television component. That's where people tend to go. That's where we're getting our traffic, and that's where that's the sizzle, so to speak, right? So like when you're telling the agents, get your listings on streaming television. That's what's intriguing to them. If you say, hey, I'm going to get your listings on an iPad, they're going to be like, okay, well, it's already there on Zillow and Realtor.com, everywhere else. So we want to focus on the TV aspect of MoveTube.
100%. I think there was some other questions in there. One of them was, does this work in Canada?
Yeah. So yes, it does. We actually made some modifications to make it work in Canada. You're not going to find a lot of listings in Canada, but you can, if you are a client in Canada, we look to grow in there. Actually, we've got a team that's working on being able to import the listings for you pretty much anywhere in Canada. So we don't want anybody manually inputting anything. So we are working on that. So yes, so the short answer is yes.
All right, cool beans. Another question came in from Taz. He says, do you find most people will just go to Zillow or realtor.com.ca to look for properties rather than their TV?
What we find is that a lot of people, once they realize that they can go to search properties on their TV set, they get addicted to it. Now, when property searching has historically been an individual endeavor, right? Even if you're a married couple or family, everybody kind of does their own thing because you are on a computer or on a phone. But we find that when they can sit down and doing it on their big 70-inch TV screen and an entertainment environment in a family room with their favorite music playing on it, it's just a completely different experience. We find actually once they discover it, they tend to not want to go back to a website, whether that's Zillow or Real, it doesn't matter. Now in Canada, we would, if you're talking about CA, we're going to be looking to grow it on there, but we do have some data on there right now. I was actually checking out some properties in Toronto the other day, but Doran, because of Doran, we even started opening the door to Canada. We weren't even thinking about Canada, even though we already had some data from Canada from some of our syndicators. But we've made some modification to make sure the product does work in Canada, listing boosters. So, your agents will definitely want their listings on there. That's what's important.
So that was a great question, as all the others were as well. Here's another question that came in from Jimmy. He says, can't a realtor just skip the mortgage guy and go directly to this themselves? I'm assuming he says directly to it. I'm assuming he means MoveTube.
Okay, yeah, let me answer that question. So on Listing Booster, they can, but they have to pay. If they want an individual account, it's $50 a month for them. On MoveTube Studio, we did not build that in at all. They have to be tied to a lender. On Listing Booster, they can, but the only time we get agents that sign up on by themselves are it's rare. I can't really recall a lot of agents that are in the system from a loan officer and then decide, I would rather pay $50 a month than work with this loan officer. And by the way, if that's the case, then you don't have a relationship with that LO or that agent anyway. Agents don't want to pay anything. They just don't. It's like drawing blood to get them to pay anything because they're so used to getting, benefits from other folks. So but yeah, that is not an issue at all. And by the way, there's so many agents out there. On MoveTube Studio this morning, I was just looking in my local area. I had 3,900 and something agents just in my local area that are already in MoveTube, but they're not branded in there. Their listings are in there. That's such an easy phone call. Hey, I found your listing on MoveTube, but you're not branded in there. All your traffic's going to go to Opcity. Do you want that? No. What's MoveTube? You need to be using this on your listing presentation. Easy conversations to have. So that should not be a thought at all. And in MoveTube Studio, they're not going to be able to do it anyway. But no, they don't. We don't see a pattern of that. To answer your question.
And just to clarify again, guys, MoveTube requires a loan officer or mortgage professional to co-brand with. So if they want to utilize that, right, it's an absolute must that they partner with someone like you. So all the more reason for them to get the overture from you, not one of your competitors, right? And this is just the tip of the iceberg, guys. It's just the beginning. It's like when the first iPhone came out, it was a buzz, no doubt, but it's nothing like smartphones today. Everyone's got a smartphone now. Back then, man, it took me till the fourth iPhone before I ever got a smartphone. I kid you not. So you want to be a first mover. You want to be cutting edge versus bleeding edge and trailing edge, so you can help your partners do likewise, stay ahead of the curve. And that's a great way to stand out, and certainly a great way to position yourself as irreplaceable and indispensable is by bringing cutting edge opportunities that allow them to get ahead of these kind of curves, because this is going to be the new normal. People are going to be using their TV devices to check listings. So you want to position yourself to take advantage of all the opportunity that comes with being the agent who brings this kind of cutting edge opportunity to your partners. That being said, we are just about scraping the bottom of the barrel when it comes to questions. So if you have any additional questions, this is your opportunity to get those questions in the queue. Remember, guys, it's worth the price of admission just for that Q&A. Because if you have a hard time getting appointments with realtors, we're going to teach you exactly why you're having a hard time getting the appointments. I liken it to, if you want to catch a mouse, you want to show them all cheese, no whiskers, because they love cheese. They hate whiskers. They know whiskers are attached to something that wants to eat them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? It's called a cat. So if you want to catch a mouse, you want to show all cheese, no whiskers. Same thing with realtors. We're going to show you the all cheese, no whiskers approach to get the appointment, because it's not enough just to have this technology. You got to know how to articulate and how to use the right overture so that you're not showing any whiskers. And if you show any whiskers, it doesn't matter if you're, literally giving them an opportunity to roll in a brand spanking new Ferrari with you. If you don't have the right overture, they're not going to say yes to the invitation, as sexy as that Ferrari is. So having the right words that work, having the right overture, avoiding common mistakes and pitfalls, avoiding the landmines is mission critical. So again, it's worth the price of admission just for that bonus alone. So go to myunfairadvantagesystem.com to strike while the iron is hot and get in under the wire as one of the first 10 investors. myunfairadvantagesystem.com. And last but not least, a question again from Brent. He says, will there be a recording of today's offer so I can go over it? I do have it recorded. I don't know when I'll send it out. It might be sent out in the next week or two, but this is a very simple decision. You're sick and tired of having these realtors not give you the time of day, right? You're sick and tired of being ghosted. You're sick and tired of cold calling, begging, bribing, kissing butts, and you're ready to have the cookie. You're ready to be in the power position. You're ready to be in the driver's seat. You're ready to be able to pick and choose who you work with, have the choice and the power of choice to do so. And you're ready to have the best of the best on planet Earth when it comes to technology and coaching and training in your corner to help you learn the secret sauce on how to book appointments with top producing agents and how to get them eating out of your hands so they start sending you all their business all the time. And all we need is one deal. All you need is one deal a year to turn a modest profit. If that's not the no-brainer of the year, I don't know what is. So it's a very simple decision. You don't need to overanalyze it. You don't need to overcomplicate it. If that's a difficult decision to invest $180 for your first month to be able to have the secret sauce to make freedom money for the rest of your career, you may not be ready to make freedom money. This is a very simple decision for those who are sick and tired of being sick and tired of chasing realtors. So again, I know I'm a little blunt, but it's a very simple decision. That being said, I think we're up on questions and answers from what I can tell. No more questions in the queue. So Kev, thanks for your time, brother. It's been amazing seeing all the cool stuff that you have developed over the years through your blood, sweat, and tears and your innovation and your creative mind. And I just love how you are always bettering your best and using your creativity to bring more and more value to the space, to the industry, to help our mortgage professionals win. So thank you on behalf of our audience for being a champion for them and, giving them the secret sauce to not win in just a fair weather market, but in any market. I appreciate you, brother. So thanks again for being with us today.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Doran. Appreciate it.
All right, you beautiful people. Thank you for hanging with us. Again, strike while the iron is hot. Don't miss this opportunity with all the phenomenal bonuses and the special discount. Strike while the iron is hot by going to myunfairadvantage system.com. And we look forward to seeing you on the other side, inside the portal. And with our exclusive training, we're going to provide you and all the cool tools you're going to use to skyrocket your realtor referrals. Be blessed, y'all. This is Doran Aldana coming at you with the one and only Kevin Bilberry. And we will see you very, very soon. Make it a great day, guys. Thanks for being with us.